The big story we've been tracking, centre's big move against terror. PFI has been banned by the centre for 5 years. Not just the PFI, centre has banned 8 other associated organizations as well. This after days of raids and over 300 arrests and detentions. Intel agencies also said that the bomb-making manuals had been found during the raids. In its notification, the government said that the Islamic political outfit was involved in terror activities, had links with global terror groups like ISIS and was raising funds for terror activities. Meanwhile, political reactions have started pouring in. Congress leader Kamalnath has said that if the centre has proved they should produce it, evidence should not be fake, he has said. CPM leader Sitaram Yechury meanwhile says that the ban is not a solution.
बात है कि ये नई संस्था नहीं है, पुरानी है, तो क्या उनको जो सबूत हैं क्या अभी मिले? अगर ये पहले से चल रही थी और ये आतंकवादी संस्थाओं से जुड़ी हुई थी तो आप इतने साल क्या कर रहे थे? क्या इन्वेस्टिगेशन रिपोर्ट है? ये तो उन्होंने पब्लिक करी नहीं कि कौन सी संस्थाएं हैं जो जुड़ी हुई हैं आतंकवादी संस्थाओं के साथ.
Yeah, the banning, as I told you earlier, RSS was banned thrice. Has stopped them. That's why I'm saying that killings and retaliatory killings, that was end. We've seen also the ban on the CPI Maoists. But even today, the security forces and the Maoists are in loggerheads and they continue to battle out each other in certain parts of the country. We have to politically isolate such forces spreading extremism and terror tactics, and administratively very firmly take action against all the criminal activities they indulge in.
देश विरोधी गतिविधियों का हिस्सा कोई भी होगा उसके खिलाफ कड़ी से कड़ी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, और जो देश विरोधी गतिविधियों का हिस्सा है उनको अगर ये नहीं जानकारी है कि यह माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व वाला नया भारत है, यहाँ देश के खिलाफ साजिश करोगे तो भी कुछ ले जाओगे, देश में हिंसा फैलाओगे तो भी रोके जाओगे, और देश के दुश्मनों की आज्ञा लेकर के और देश के विरुद्ध साजिश करके और देश को दहलाने की, देश में हिंसा फैलाने की, देश में का माहौल ख़राब करने की अगर कोशिश की जाएगी तो उसका जवाब निश्चित तौर से मिलना चाहिए. मैं PFI पर जो प्रतिबंध लगाया गया है इसका स्वागत करता हूं.
And we're getting you reports from across the country, all the reactions that are coming in. Abhishek joining us from Mumbai, Sri Prapanch from Chennai. Abhishek, to you first. There is Maharashtra ATS that has seized a PFI bank account in Pune, and sources saying that some 10 lakh accountable amount has been found in that account. Give us the details.
Yes, definitely, as the crackdown continues, yesterday on 27th of September and earlier 22nd of September, there was a mass level crackdown across the 19 to 17 state, and one of the state was Maharashtra. And what we're coming to know from the source is that PFI bank account in Bank of Baroda in Pune has come out with 10 lakh of unaccounted cash, and that cash has been deposited at several ATM from Madhya Pradesh and Kerala. I mean, these kind of activities were going on, and specifically speaking of Maharashtra, there are around 40 to 45 members affiliated to PFI, state president, district president, who have been arrested, and the inquiry continues because yesterday they were produced in court and the police has taken their custody, and these kind of details are now emerging in the investigation which is coming out from the sources. So right from seizing the hard disk, getting manuals of how to make bombs, in fact the bank account details that are coming out of unaccounted cash, that directly links to terror funding, terror training, and most importantly, radicalization of vulnerable group of society, minorities of the societies, youth of the societies were radicalized and were forced to join ISIS. These are the big revelations which are coming out of the investigation which is still currently going on. Moreover, there is another political face-off and political debate that has erupted now, because the Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis clearly said that after the order banning the PFI organization and 8 affiliate organizations and giving also powers to state government to carry on with their action, Devendra Fadnavis, who is also the Home Minister of State of Maharashtra, clearly said that there are many more small groups and organizations apart from 8 affiliated which are banned, and we have instructed the state unit to probe into the matter, and subsequent banning or subsequent action in future will be taken against those organizations also. Also hitting out at the central government, Shiv Sena has reacted and said that they are, they welcome the step by the central government, but why the delay of 7 years? Was Modi government, who was elected in 2014, sleeping? They have allowed the PFI to expand at a mass level and to carry out such kind of organization, such kind of hidden agenda across the state. Why they delay? Though they welcome the step, but they are directly hitting out at the central government and questioning the fact that you took 7 to 8 years to take such decision. It would have been taken earlier, and why you allowed to expand PFI is the question that has been raised. Back to you.
All right, Sri Prapanch also joining us from Chennai. Sri Prapanch, there have been raids there in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu as well against the PFI. Several detentions have been made from there. Now, what have been the political reactions there as far as the ban on PFI is concerned?
On 22nd of September, NIA and ED had conducted raids across the country, especially in Tamil Nadu. 11 people had been arrested in this regard, and there we could see several groups of supporters of PFI and SDPI had conducted protests across Tamil Nadu, in fact, against the NIA raids and ED raids, and they were voicing out their concerns. They were raising slogans against the government and the BJP and RSS. Now we could see that right now several groups of people have in fact supported the PFI, and they are in fact raising their voices against the government. They are condemning this action. However, in terms of VCK Chief Tirumavalavan has reacted. He has said that he doesn't want to comment anything on the ban on PFI. However, he has stated that right-wing organizations like RSS, Hanuman Sena and other Senas should be, in fact, they should be banned, is what Mr. Tirumavalavan has been saying. DMK is yet to react. Meanwhile, ADMK has said that they welcome this decision, the ban on PFI. They have said that any radical group should not be allowed to function. So they are technically welcoming the ban on PFI. And so we can see that there are, in fact, supporting voices in Tamil Nadu, and there are voices that are against this ban. However, we need to see that DMK is yet to react on this. But however, in terms of parties like supporting parties like SDPI and other organizations which had been supporting PFI from the beginning, they have raised their concerns, they have raised their voices, they have said that this is very undemocratic, is what in fact, SDPI has said that. So we could see all Muslim association and Jamaat association across various pockets in Tamil Nadu have also come against, and they have raised their voices against this PFI ban. So we could see there are mixed reactions across in Tamil Nadu, especially in Tamil Nadu. We can see that DMK is yet to react.
All right, Sri Prapanch and Abhishek, thanks very much for joining us with that details of that story. So the government has banned PFI, saying that they were involved in violent terror activities. They were raising funds for terror and criminal activities. The government has said that some members of the PFI are leaders of the banned Simi group, and that there have been instances of PFI links with terror groups like ISIS. Now, joining us to discuss this issue is Arvind Jain, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh, Namit Saxena, an advocate, and Lokesh Jindal, a political analyst, joining us this afternoon. Thanks very much for speaking with Mirror Now. Arvind Jain, let me come to you first. There have been raids, multiple arrests, and now a ban. How serious a threat do you think PFI was to the country?
PFI was a serious threat. let me make one thing very clear that maintenance of law and order in the state is a state subject. It is not even in the concurrent list. It is not in the central list. Once the central government and central government agencies carry out such massive raids throughout the country, it means that there was some serious kind of input that this organization and sister organizations were planning something big, some disruptive activity in the country, and that's why raids were carried out in 15 states after taking the help of the state police forces. During my 36 years of service in UP, I have never seen central agencies directly intervening in the states and carrying out the raids. IB, RAW used to give us useful information, used to give us good inputs, and we used to carry out the operations. They used to help us from outside. So naturally, there were very serious complaints. They were indulging in anti-national activities. They were indulging in activities which were not conducive to maintenance of law and order in the states, as was seen during CA and RC riots at Lucknow in 2019. PFI hand was there. Recently, the incidents at Prayagraj and Kanpur, again PFI hand was there, and that's why UP government had recommended that there should be a ban on PFI, and there was a crackdown on such people, and law was also enacted for damage of private property and public property, and since then there is peace in the state. So threat was really serious. They were getting funds from abroad through Hawala. They were training youth, radicalizing youth. They were carrying on with the parades, training camps to kill people. All this was going on. So I welcome the raids. Police forces all over the states, they have welcomed the raids, and now they have the powers to carry out the raids, to seal the offices, to seize the bank accounts, and to raid their offices and camps.
All right, Lokesh, Jindal, let me get you into this conversation. You know, there have been a number of cases linked to PFI, most recently the Praveen Nettaru case. Do you welcome this step of a ban on PFI?
Yes, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. The government moved so as to safeguard national security is welcomed. Nobody should undermine the national security of the country. However, there are lots of questions that remained unanswered. First of all, it was in 2013 that the Kerala government had stopped the freedom parade of PFI. So it was since 2013 itself, it was well known to people that PFI, if at all it was having some threat to national security, why did the government remain silent for 8 years? If it was having sufficient proof and it had something significant so as to act for. Secondly, now when the government has come out with UAPA and it claims that the activities of the PFI were detrimental to national security, why is it closing its eyes when we look at incidents such as Dharam Sansad, where Yati Narsingaran, he openly is promoting all forms of communal violence, communal hatred, and is radicalizing the Hindus? Why is it not taking action against this? Moreover, if you look at the Hindu radicals that are being supported by RSS and the Hindu radicalism, even that is a threat to national security. The point is the government has to come out clearly with sufficient evidence and proof that shows that the actions that are taken, it is in due cognizance to national security rather than merely trying to reach out to their political ends. So the government has more to come out with, more information to deliver to the public at large, and give a precedence that it shall not tolerate such activities which threaten the national security at large.
All right, Namit Saxena, respond to that. You know, here Lokesh is saying that what about Dharam Sansad? Aren't the Hindus being radicalized over there? Respond to that. And also, you know, the government has said that PFI cadres have been involved in several terrorist acts and murders of several persons. They have listed cases since 2016 in that gazette. If the organization has been on the intelligence radar from so long, why haven't action been taken earlier?
See, one, comparing Dharam Sansad to, to what PFI has been doing, it's like comparing oranges and apples. See, when PFI plans Mission 2047, destroying the secular fabric of the country, saying that we have to convert this into Islamic Republic or Islamic country. You can't, compare that with whatever material, the government has seized through these raids, whatever, they've got in investigation till now, to what was projected to be done in Tansansar. They have found material, through which they were planning terror activities. And when when you plant a bomb, the bomb would not see that some Hindu is being, targeted or a Muslim is being targeted. The citizen of this country, the country at large is being under threat because of the activities PFI has been doing is one. Second, in relation to the ban, as a lawyer, I must tell you, this ban is for a period of 5 years. For this period of 5 years, they'll look at, whatever has been concluded in investigation till now. The investigation has not been completely done. The investigation is also underway. So for this period of 5 years, the ban is this period of 5 years because they'll also conduct further investigations and look into whatever else is also required to be done to secure national security and national interest. That is why the ban is for 5 years. Now coming back to, and that is why I say that this is going to, in case, because as a lawyer, I see, if this is challenged before a court, a constitutional court, whether, this will pass the muster of judicial scrutiny. So my answer would be an emphatic yes. This ban would definitely pass through the muster of judicial scrutiny because there is sufficient material to ban this organization at the moment, at least for the period of 5 years. They can, thereafter, take a call whether this is to be banned completely, etc. Now, also, it is important to see that this is a very welcome step that, as Mr. Arvind Jain also pointed out, that in his 36 years of career, this is the first instance where the central government agencies, did not take direct help from state agencies and directly did it. So the threat, which would have persisted or is still persisting, we don't know, would have been of a many, monumental consequence. That is why this has been done. So, they should be welcomed rather instead of comparing apples and oranges or instead of saying, okay, you had knowledge since then, why didn't you do it? At least they have done it now. They have saved, instead of facing consequences after.
All right, Namit Saxena, you've made your point, but the questions are being asked as to why the action hasn't been taken earlier. Arvind Jain, let me come back to you. The Home Ministry has said that PFI and its affiliates were raising funds for terror activities. You've spoken about that as well. The question is, who is funding them and from within India and from abroad? How do you track that?
They have kept collection boxes at almost all the mosques in Kanpur, Bareilly region, other places. And money which is collected from those collection boxes, generally in temples, it is used for the temple. But these collection boxes, they are taken away and money is being channelized in different accounts from these collection boxes, and it is being used for anti-national activities. All these things, they have come to light during Kanpur riots, during CA-NRC riots at Lucknow and other places in UP. I can say with 100% confidence as far as UP is concerned that earlier PFI was not so strong, and recently it has gained foothold in almost all the districts of UP, and it was involved in organizing violent protests against government on very, very small pretexts, and mobilizing youth to pelt stones on the police without any reason.
Mr. Jain, you made a very important point. You said that earlier the PFI wasn't so strong, but recently it has had a foothold in much of the districts of Uttar Pradesh. It's a very important point. What do you think explains this rapid growth of PFI? Earlier it was just in Kerala, now it boasts of a pan-India presence.
Misleading youth, circulating videos that Muslims are being discriminated against. I don't find any discrimination. I have so many friends in Muslim community. Everybody is happy. They are doing their business. They are carrying on with their activities. There is nothing in their minds. There are some people, and it is being propagated in UP. I can also see that everybody is happy. Why should and if somebody is indulging in criminal activities, whether he is a Muslim or a Hindu, very stern action should be taken against those people, and it is being taken. You give me one example where Hindus have committed a crime and action has not been taken against them. Same applies to mafias also. Unnecessary perspective is being created that Muslims are being discriminated. So some youth they are joining this, but I think within no time they will also realize that and several they have left PFI and SDPI,
Right.
and they have joined the mainstream.
All right, Lokesh Jindal, the government has said that PFI and its affiliates operate openly as socio-economic, educational, and political organization, but that is just a front to pursue a secret agenda to radicalize a particular section of the society. The government also says that some of the founding members of the PFI are the members of SIMI. There have been linkages with PFI and ISIS. These are serious allegations.
See, I'll first answer Mr. Saxena's point where he stated that PFI was banned because it aimed at establishing an Islamic state in India. So if you look at the Dharam Sansad also, it aimed at for transforming India into a Hindu Rashtra. Secondly, a very important point, Mr. Jain, he stated that the PFI had rapidly rose, like it is rapidly rising since 2014. Now let us discuss the background within which this PFI came into existence and it rose. From 2006, when Abhinav Bharat was formed, and subsequently we saw the Samjhauta blast, Ajmer Dargah blast, the Makkah blast, and the radicalization that was taking place amongst the Hindus, and that paved way towards radicalization amongst the Muslims. I'm not saying that who is the culprit first. There is no blame game over here, but the point is, when one particular religious community radicalizes, it triggers radicalization in another community as well. 2013 itself, PFI was a radical organization, and 2014 onwards, with the Narendra Modi government.
But Mr. Jindal, when you're drawing this equivalence, aren't you soft peddling the issue of the PFI? Talk about the PFI. That's the issue at the moment. Aren't you soft peddling that issue by drawing this equivalences?
It is also important for the government to formulate policies that shall prevent emergence of further more PFIs. I mean, putting a ban on one organization is not going to restrict emergence of these organizations. Some other organization in some other form will crop up because the conditions, social, economic, cultural, political conditions that are prevailing in the country, it is creating necessary and sufficient conditions for rise of such organizations. So the government's job over here is to come out with clear-cut policies and directives along with the political, administrative and legal system to prevent recurrence of such organizations. Now, it cannot come up with one policy whereby it is simply dissecting cases with all such organizations and says that further these things won't happen.
All right, Mr. Jindal, you have made your point. We're getting some more reactions coming in. Lalu Prasad has reacted to the ban on PFI. Let's listen in and return to this conversation.
और एक बजा बजाते रहते हैं टीवी पर रोज ये बजा बजा रहे हैं तो PFI का एक हुआ दिखा रहे हैं लोगों के ऊपर तो सबसे पहले RSS पर बैन करिए RSS को ये उससे भी बदतर संगठन है.
Okay, so that was Lalu Prasad Yadav. Namit Saxena, one final word to you. There are allegations that this is selective targeting and that the government is not impartial when it comes to taking action against other groups that are indulging in violence. What's your reaction to that?
Please see the evidence they've collected against PFI and the other 8 banned organizations. The evidence is so clinching against them. They have found so much material against them that they have to be banned. Now, why they have to be banned is the implication under Section 10 of UAPA. See, every member of this banned organization, and see, they have an organized structure as to how they do it. And the first way of committing this organized terror is that they don't deliberately keep a list of their members. They don't deliberately tell you that these are the members who are associated with us, or these are the members of the associated sister concerns of us. So they do it deliberately, they do it intentionally. There's an organized terror racket which has been running in the country for quite some time. Now that that has been banned, coercive steps are being taken, custodies are being taken, raids are being conducted, seizures are being conducted, confiscations are being conducted. What's wrong? in doing it. This is for national security. This is for security of Mr. Lokesh Jindal, Mr. Arvind Jain, me and you. What is wrong in it? And for the country at large. So this must be, allowed to be continued at all costs. This has to be done. This is necessary. So I think this is, this is a welcome step. One, as I said, collective, action taken by central agencies along with, involving the state agencies to the level their participation was required, and taking these coercive steps. This is extremely, extremely important for the national security. Hello.
All right, Namit Saxena and Lokesh Jindal as well as Arvind Jain, thanks very much for joining us, sharing your perspective on this story. So a big action on PFI. PFI has been banned for 5 years. Now we're getting breaking news coming in. The big story coming in at the moment, PFI State General Secretary Abdul Sattar has been arrested. He has been taken into custody by the police and has been taken to Kollam Commissioner's office. This is news coming in from Kerala. PFI State General Secretary Abdul Sattar now been arrested, taken into custody by the police. So more crackdown on PFI there after the ban now. The State General Secretary of PFI in Kerala, Abdul Sattar, has been arrested, taken into custody by the police and is right now being taken to Kollam Commissioner's office. Vivek joining us for more on this. Vivek, so more clampdown there on PFI after the ban. Now this important arrest coming in.
Exactly. A very, very important crackdown as far as the Popular Front of India is concerned. Remember, he was the topmost leader as far as his organization is concerned. He's a person who actually called for the dawn to dusk hartal on Thursday at around 10 o'clock from Alappuzha. Ever since then, he was absconding. There was a lookout notice that's been sent to Abdul Rauf and Abdul Sattar. Remember, Abdul Rauf is the state president. Even he is absconding now. And Abdul Sattar is the State General Secretary of PFI. Now, he's been arrested. Remember, Abdul Sattar's name has come up in various cases, in various charge sheets also. And hence, his arrest is going to be extremely important at this point of time. Because remember, there are cases in connection with money laundering, terror funding, and also various other criminal offences with very, very serious magnitude that's been registered against the Popular Front of India leaders, and hence this arrest is very, very important as far as the police is concerned. Yeah.
Vivek, thanks very much for joining us with that important information there. Vivek reporting that PFI State General Secretary has now been taken into police custody. He's being taken to Commissioner's office there in Kollam. More breaking